So let me repeat one more time if someone's having any problems. I'm going under my hierarchy, I'm right clicking, create empty. I'm gonna name this something like a target. Under this target, I'm adding cubes. I will say 3D object cube. This cube appears, I place it somewhere I like, and then I press Ctrl D and I duplicate it. I can then select the whole thing and again press Ctrl D, and that's an easier way to replicate them. I can again select all 4 together and press Ctrl D, and now I have 8 boxes. I can add one material to one box, another material to another box, or I can select all of them and I can add a material to say all of these. Is everyone okay? Tanya?
Yeah, I got boxes. I don't know if I was supposed to move the, I don't know if I like, if it matters where the target axis is lined up. Okay, can I just show you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to present now.
Yeah. Okay, am I presenting?
Yep.
So if I was going to color them all, I'd grab the target. Wait a minute. So that's... So that's it.
Yep, okay.
Right?
Now select all the cubes. And now,
okay, I can do that way, or can I select the parent?
Yeah, you can.
That's not small, right?
Yeah, you can select them as a whole on the editor. And when you do that, you can add the rigid body component.
Okay.
So add component.
Okay.
And rigid body.
Add component. Okay, so I type it in?
Yeah, so just type rigid and it should come up.
Use gravity.
Okay.
Okay, and the other thing was collision detection or something?
Yeah, so all of the boxes should already have box colliders on them.
Okay.
So right now you have selected just the parent. You want to select all the boxes. So just in the editor, just select all of them. Yeah, and now here you already have the colliders. Just add component, rigid body.
Right here, right?
Yeah.
Whoa, shoot.
It's in play mode, so you have to stop the play mode before you do any edit.
Oh, yeah, right.
The one next to it, yeah. So did you make all the changes in play mode?
I must have.
Okay, no worries. You have these boxes already in the scene, right? Or just take 2 boxes. Just take 2 boxes and then duplicate them.
Okay. Right?
Yeah. And if you have any scripts added onto these boxes, just remove those components. You don't want your boxes to move right now.
I don't. Oh, you want me to remove the scripts on the boxes?
Yes. You want them to be static for now.
Right. Okay. Right.
So you can just select one box and in the inspector remove component. You don't have to go here. You cannot do anything from here. When you select one of the boxes,
Yeah.
in the inspector window at the bottom, you should be able to see the scripts that are added to it. So just
Yeah.
select a box.
I selected the target and script.
So don't do anything to the scripts, just I cannot see any changes on your window. So just select any box in your editor.
Okay.
Are you selecting? Yeah.
Yeah.
So right here, do you have a script at the end? In the inspector, look at the inspector.
Oh, I could turn it off there?
Yeah, you just turn it off there.
How cool. Okay, great. So I just take off that target script.
Yeah, so do that for all the other cubes.
Can I do it all at once?
You can try. Now if you go to another box. Yeah. Okay. You can also just select all these 4 together and do Control D, and then you will have 8 boxes.
Okay.
Alejandro, how are you doing?
I have a very weird thing happening with my Unity. Can I show you? Because I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
None. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. In my game view, everything is okay.
Okay.
But here in this scene, I only see water and some kind of terrain.
Okay.
But I don't know what happened because...
So can you click this green arrow on the top right of this editor? That Y, just click there. Yes. Now scroll out. Scroll out even more. So is this water the only thing you have?
No, I have everything, like all the terrain.
Okay.
I don't know where did that goes. Yes.
So click on your main camera and press F.
F?
Yeah. Okay. Now can you like rotate the world pressing the right mouse key?
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now if you have your main camera selected in the hierarchy, yeah, just press it. You should be able to see those white lines. So right now if I press these white lines from the camera, they should come out of this terrain. You can scroll back in.
More?
Yeah. So is there anything under the surface? Okay. Let's select something else in your hierarchy. Say any of the objects, any of the cubes.
Okay. This cube.
Now what is the position of that?
So I press F?
See, press F if anything happens.
Yeah, it jumps somewhere on here.
Is there a cube there? Can you scroll in and see?
I don't see anything.
Okay. So when you have any of the same, when you have your main camera selected, select your main camera. Now you see this position to be the 0, 0, 0 of the world.
Yeah.
And then you select that water. If you scroll out,
Is the position 0, 0, 0 related to the player because it's inside the player, the camera?
okay, then go select the player.
Okay.
So that is at around 40. Now if you select that water that you were seeing, if you scroll out and select that water,
Select the water. I think that's this one.
yeah, just scroll out in that window. And now if you select that water,
Yeah.
so select that in the editor. What is its position?
It's 1 minus 10 and 397.
Oh, so it's in the z-axis, way like behind your terrain. That is why you are even if you are scrolling out and looking back in the scene, you are not seeing that terrain. Your terrain is somewhere totally different. Now
Oh.
you can just select your main or the player and add a cube to it. Say add a 3D cube.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it should pop out and go back to that location. How about you scroll out, way out even more.
Well, it seems that I cannot scroll. I cannot scroll out more.
And then rotate.
How this?
Do you see something else?
No.
Okay, let me try this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Enemy.
So no matter how far I am scrolled out, press down your scroll key of the mouse and move the world right or left till you see some arrows appearing when you have the camera selected.
When I have my camera selected, and what?
So I'm presenting now. See what I am doing.
Sorry.
So see, if I am here somewhere, and if I have something selected, I don't see anything. I'm all the way scrolled out. But now I am pressing down the scroll key and moving it along the different directions till I see these arrows. If I have something selected like this, I should be able to see the arrows.
Okay.
So move the thing around till you see these arrows and then scroll down on it.
Okay.
Or you can also say when you cannot see anything, and if you bring in a 3D cube, it will appear somewhere on your screen. Then you can make this cube a child of your player and set the location of this new cube to be 0, 0, 0, and then press F.
So like this cube 0, 0, 0 related Yes, but I see now the arrows.
Are you just underneath everything? And the water is blocking your view of the rest of the world because it's the bottommost layer?
That I don't get it. What? Because I see the arrows, but I don't see anything there.
Yeah, so once you see the arrows, start scrolling in.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll in, but it gets frozen and disappear. Okay. Okay. My God, it's because my computer is also very very slow and it's getting crashed. Okay. My God.
Yeah, so I think the editor kind of takes time to catch up.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because I don't know what happened to this. I have everything.
Like my mouse has stopped reacting because I'm so far away. Yeah, now I can scroll back in. Give it a little time to
Okay.
catch up to your gestures. Can you scroll in now?
There is it, but yeah, I'm still seeing the arrows, but as soon as I scroll in, I lost it again.
Okay, can you present your screen? So if you had your main camera,
There is it, the arrows, right?
okay.
But
Your main camera, can you make this cube to be, it's in the 0, 0, 0 of the player, okay? Scroll in. What might be also a reason is that your water is huge in terms of your terrain or something.
okay, so the size of this is 515.
Yeah, so make that just 111.
This is the water. My God. Okay. And the terrain, where is it? Here.
Just
Also,
make it 111, yeah.
at least I see the terrain. It's like the terrain is kind of,
Yeah.
it's like inside the water or something. It's very.
So maybe for now just delete that water, or select that water and push it down. Select that water.
Yeah. In the
editor, press W on your keyboard and move that y-axis down. See water showing is, so your terrain is still below it. Is your terrain a parent of, okay, can you just delete that water for now?
Delete this?
Yeah.
Or hide it like here. Okay, I'm going to delete the water. Yeah, and I don't see anything.
Now select your terrain and scroll out. Yeah, now zoom in to the arrow. Can you press that Y key? That Y arrow. Yeah.
This?
No, this Y on the top right.
I'm scrolling.
Do you not see nothing?
Nothing.
Scroll out. Okay. Now scroll in on this, on these arrows. Start scrolling in.
Yeah, scrolling in. It's very hard to scroll in exactly to that.
Yeah, so just rotate, and you can even move the X and Y. This is actually very weird. I've never seen this happen.
Yes, because it's the object is there, but it's not visible or something. Maybe I'm going to try to restart Unity and continue with your presentation, because let me restart Unity and see what.
Okay, you can save this and then restart Unity and see.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so next I'm gonna like get in a gun in the scene. For this, I'm just gonna download a gun from Asset Store. If you guys want to use something else or have some gun from elsewhere, you can use that as well. So I'm now in my Asset Store and I am searching for a gun, and I can download.
I have modeled an AK-7, an AK-47 or whatever.
Yeah, you can
just
automatic. Use that one.
It takes Maya files, correct?
Yes, if you have a Maya model, you can export that from Maya as a .fbx and then just drag and drop that model into your asset folder. So like I have this hand FBX. You might even have a Maya object extension. You can just drag and drop into, say, your prefabs folder, and it will show up here.
That's awesome.
Now
what about?
Yeah.
Oh. I guess I'll find out if it takes like link parenting information and stuff.
It does. So if I bring in this hand in my scene, you will see whatever is in that model comes as a child. That will happen sometimes during export and import. The textures go away. You kind of have to get the textures as a separate entity in a folder, and then again put those textures on the model if that is happening. So if you have a model in your assets folder like this, I'm going to make this gun a child of my player. Now it is at the center. You have to make sure that this gun's transform position is 0, 0, 0 if it is not so by default. And now I can place the gun relative to where I want. So maybe like this. Maybe I want to scale my gun a little bit. So I'm going to say 2, 2, and 2. And then I'm going to rotate it. So I'm pressing E. orienting it towards the boxes. And place it such that your camera is just looking from the top of that gun. Something like this. Now also make sure that all these boxes have the rigid body, all these boxes have the rigid body. So basically all your piles of target boxes should have rigid bodies on them.
Can you show the just the rigid bodies once again?
Yeah, so I am selecting all these boxes together. Then I'm going to add component and rigid body. So
under box collider, or just anywhere.
So anytime you get a box into your scene, it should by default come with the box collider.
Okay.
So once you have brought in cubes and duplicated cubes, they all have box colliders anyway. If you turned them on before for some reason, then you need to turn this on. If it's not there at all, then you can also add component here and say colliders, box collider.
Okay. After you add the rigid bodies to the boxes, does it show up in the inspector?
Yes.
Let's see it.
So if don't select the target cubes, the parent name. This parent name is just to have this ordered properly. You don't want to have like 200 cubes and have them name to cube 1 to 200. That looks like crazy and it's very difficult to debug. That's why you make them these kind of encased within these target things. But inside, when you select them, you can select them like individually, and we can press Control and select them like this, or in the inspector you can select them using this scroll and select option. Now once you have selected these boxes, then add rigid body. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So next, I'm gonna do a couple of things to just tell you the concepts. You need not follow this. You will then use these concepts to do something later. So I am now going to make a script. I'm going in my scripts folder and I'm making a C# script, and I'm gonna call this shoot. We are gonna come back to the script and do other things, but for now let's just say I'm going to add this script to one cube, and I want that cube to change color, and I'm gonna do this using code. So for this, what you will need is you will need a public material, and I'm gonna call this prefab material. This is just a name of a variable I'm giving, like you did with speed and rotate speed or something for the camera. This is just a variable, but instead of saying float or bool,
Jesus. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Just I was just trying to adjust my screen, but go for it. Sorry.
Okay. So instead of saying float or bool, I'm declaring this variable to be a type material. So this material can be those color materials that we make, or any kind of image that we get. So once I declare this one, I also need so in the start, or maybe say if I press some input key, so input dot get key, and I am saying key code dot W. So if every time I press the W key, so sorry, this is not going to be small letter. All the key codes by default, all these options are in caps. So this key, every time it gets this key, I want to whatever this script is attached. So this. So if I attach this script to this cube, then in the script, this cube means this. When last week you did the camera, you may or may not have used this keyword. I can also say game object, and I can say dot transform, and I can also say this dot transform dot translate, and you know, these two things would mean the same thing.
Okay.
There are just different ways of accessing this current object that to which the script is attached.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this dot get component. Now get component, just how you got transform here. Now transform is a property of this object that is Unity kind of exposes more easily. So if you go here, you will see that I can turn off this box collider, I can turn off this mesh renderer, I can add or remove this rigid body. But this transform, any game object that you get into your scene, say if I get any random object in my scene, this by default will always have this transform. I can close these offs, but this and this are its default properties. So you can access those properties more easily, but for some of the other properties you need to use this get component. So when I say get component, I can access the material now, and I'm going to put these brackets. Now once I have this, I can now assign this material of my current object to be the prefab material. And so here, in terms of the Unity world, your mesh renderer is what actually contains this material property. You do not have a property like this transform that's called material. So instead of being able to say directly get that material property, I have to say renderer, and then I have to say dot material, and then I can set it to prefab material. Now I can also get different kinds of components, like I can get component rigid body, and whatever rigid body properties are there, say under rigid body I have mass, I have drag, I have all these kinds of things. I can say mass, and now I can also set the mass to be something. So all
set the transparency.
What, sorry?
Can you set the transparency?
So your transparency is you being able to see this mesh renderer or not. So if I select or deselect this, it becomes visible or not. There are other ways of controlling the opacity. We will go into that later. But if this is what you mean, that if this is going to be visible or not, you can do that. You can say this dot get component, and you say renderer, and you can say dot this enabled. You can get or set it, so enabled, and I can set it to false, and that is the same thing as it not being visible, or you can access its active. You can also have something like a set active property. Let's see what properties it has. Or you can directly also just set it to be null, which will do the kind of a similar thing. We will come to these things. There are different ways of doing it. We can destroy something. We can set it to just not be there, and depending on your application and what you actually want to do, you can do different things.
Great. And then you have this script for shoot. So are you going to apply it? Change color. Are you going to apply it to the boxes?
Yep. So I'm just telling you these concepts. Now we are going to do step by step how you're going to apply them to do something. So right now you have the material and you're setting it to a prefab material. If I now go to Unity and add this shoot script to say this box, and I'm dragging it onto this box, you see here in your inspector at the bottom, this shoot script appears and this prefab material variable appears. Now this variable is expecting a type material. So I can go to my materials folder and I can select any of the materials and drag this onto this variable. And so this is the same thing as where you set your velocity or your speed for your camera movement. You set something like 10 or 20. This is doing a similar thing, but in this case it's expecting a material type. So you are dragging a material. So you've create and you made a material, and so these are all materials. You can see these are all material types. So you can now assign this variable with one of these materials. Now once you do this and this script is added to this cube, and if I press play and I said I'm going to press W key and I'm pressing W, and you see this material has appeared.
Awesome. It's like shoot the bird.
Yeah. So now based on different actions, you can do different things to these target cubes. You can change their materials, you can add forces to them, and we are going to see how to do that. Now if anybody noticed, my gun, when I pressed play, just fell down.
Yes.
And let's see in here what happened. It's my whole player that has fallen down.
Oh no.
So this player, let's go to this player, and it has a rigid body. So the moment it has a rigid body, it starts to be affected by gravity. Now if it is not well balanced, if it's not placed in a right position or something, gravity starts to act on it. So for now I am going to remove this rigid body component from my player, and then this thing is not falling down anymore. Later on, if you want your player to be affected by gravity, you have to make sure that you're either fixing one of its XYZ positions, or you're making sure it's always in a balanced state. For this cylinder, it's difficult to say that it's balanced. The moment it becomes off balance, it will fall down because gravity is acting on it. So I've just removed the rigid body component from it. Okay, now we are gonna look at, so this time I want you to follow along. I want you to make a script. I'm going into my scripts folder.
We should get a gun first, right?
Yes, you should have a gun in your scene. that should be a child of your player, and it should be placed in front of your camera like this.
Right. Okay. And then we make a script called shoot.
Yes. So do you have your gun set up?
I'm gonna do it right now.
Okay. Let's. You have set it up. What about everybody else? Alejandro, did you restart Unity?
Yes, it's the same problem.
So we go to asset store.
Yes. If you have, okay, yeah, asset store, just type gun and select the price range to be 0. So here this price range, just set that to 0 and apply, and then select any, download any of the guns you like.
Okay.
Import. What about the others? Do you have a gun set up?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. Do I hit expand when I? Oh, I mean, how do I select it? Oh God. So I how do I?
Just type gun, and
Yeah,
then here price range, make it all the way 0, and apply, and it should become free. And then you can just select any of these and go import. Download.
Okay.
It will show download, accept, and then once it's downloaded, you will get the import option, and then you import everything. Alejandro, do you want to show your screen?
Yes. Let me check.
Oh, I think mine has animation on it.
Yeah, you can just uncheck that animation.
Awesome.
Oh, Kevin is presenting. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, you can present now.
Okay, I just put these three cubes here, but not using the scene, but using the game view. So what I did was like doing like this, duplicate, and moving from here, but trying to, oh, it's not working more. Well, it worked.
Coming from behind, I can see something moving left to the back. But if you scroll down on it, you don't see anything. Can you press the Z on the upper right?
This one?
Yeah. Now can you scroll in?
Like the terrain is inside the water. I don't know, it's weird. I keep scrolling.
It's somewhere there. It's like we can see it, but yeah, just keep scrolling.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just, I think your terrain is way offset to this water that you're seeing. Now rotate your screen a bit and then keep scrolling.
Yeah.
Can you remove all the water? Can you go to your console?
Yes, I see this error as well.
View frustum screen position out of. Okay. Can you go select your camera?
And then
yeah, selected.
So in your inspector, You see that view, field of view, right?
Where is it?
Just below camera. Can you increase this more? And make this clipping plane far to be, say, add one more 0 at the end. Now can you press clear in your console?
Syntax.
Now can you go back to the editor and select the terrain or something and delete all the waters from the hierarchy? So water 4 advanced, delete that.
Delete this one, and there is another, this one.
Yeah,
there is one thing.
Delete that as well.
But now.
Okay, now I want to. Okay.
The camera, cube.
Now press Y on the top. Yeah. Now scroll down in.
Oh, it's...
Do you see something?
Nothing.
Can you press that Y and drag it out? No, on that thing, drag it up.
Oh, it's something, it's moving in the, because it's a cube.
So can you press now select the terrain under the hierarchy? Now scroll out.
Here.
And bring that Y top, yeah, drag it up. So it seems to be under something. You can see it's going under something. Yeah. And on top there is some kind of a plane or something. So can you select everything?
This, I think that the plane is this thing. It's like a cube.
Yeah, but like, why are you not being able to see the terrain if there is nothing on top of it? Also, can you select the terrain? And in the inspector, make this position to be 0, 0, 0.
Yeah.
Now can you scroll back in?
Back in. Very strange thing.
I think I can see something. Do you see something?
No.
Scroll all the way back in. This is strange.
I'm scrolling. I don't know if it has something to do with the video board of the computer or what's...
Okay, can you quickly just close this project, start a new project, and now just bring a plane. So let me show this. I will present my screen. Just close this project and start a new one so that you can at least follow the scripts.
Okay, good.
So open a new, and for everybody else, I am going to, okay, let me start off with the scripting part. I'm gonna start a script, create C# script, and I'm gonna call this change color. Okay, now I'm going to double click on this change color, and I am going to remove this void start bracket 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 bracket, this whole thing, because right now we are not going to perform any operation at the start of the frame. We are just going to do it at every frame. So once you remove that, it should look like this. Now here I'm going to say public material, and I'm going to say prefab material. And then in my void update, I'm going to say this dot get component. I'm going to press these greater than smaller than signs. Here I'm going to type renderer. Then I'm going to press two small brackets, and I'm going to say dot, and I'm going to access the material property, and I'm going to set this material property to be that prefab material. So I want everyone to type this out and attach this to one of the cubes. Go to the inspector, in the inspector add a variable type of material to be one of this pre-built materials, drag it onto there, and then get this functionality of where I press a key and okay, so here right now this would happen every time. We want this to happen if some input is occurring. So let's put this operation inside a if condition. So input get key, and I'm gonna say key code dot w. You can get any key you want. I'm gonna place curly bracket and one curly bracket at the end of this statement. So type up the script and attach it to a cube, get a material into your inspector onto that prefab material variable, and then press this key and get this functionality that I showed you. And I will ask everyone to show me this. Try. I'm sure you'll run into problems.
Just keep your script up. Just keep your script up so I can see it.
Yep. Meanwhile, Alejandro, you can get a plane. So for this, I am just going to start a new scene. So I'm going to go assets. I am going to go to scene. I'm going to create a new scene here. New scene. I'm going to say a plane scene.
I create a new scene in my project, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now in this new scene, you can go to game object, 3D object, and you will see a plane. Select this plane option and this plane will appear. Tell me when you have done this.
Okay, yes, I'm initiating Unity again. That takes a little bit of time.
Yeah. Do you have a plane?
Yes, but can I show you?
Yeah.
There.
Is it happening the same thing?
Yes.
So did you restart a new project?
Yes. Yeah, I restarted.
What are the other scenes? So what I mean is close this Unity. When you open Unity again, create a new project.
A totally new project. Okay. Yes, because in this. Okay.
There might be something internally broken for this project.
Yeah. Okay. I will do that. I'm going to stop sharing. It will take a little bit of time.
Okay.
Okay. Can I see the script again?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you took off the void start. Okay. Change color.
Have you typed this?
No, not yet. Sorry.
Okay. So type it with me.
Okay. Oops. I'm on change color. I guess I misspelled color a bunch of times. Anyway, change color, mono behavior. I got to type in the public material.
And just call it anything. You can even call it temp material or something.
Okay. And I put that's there. Okay. And
inside your void update.
Okay, inside the void update.
If bracket input.getKey another bracket keycode.w close both the brackets and inside the curly brackets this dot get component, a less than symbol, renderer, a greater than symbol, two small brackets open and closed together, then dot material,
Okay, just a little bit. I just got to put that bracket in on number 12. I don't really. Okay, right there. The curly.
So don't worry so much about these things. So anytime you say if, you do this and you press this one curly bracket, the other curly bracket comes at the same time. So make sure whatever this command is, this goes inside these curly brackets, and the condition that should be true or false, that goes in here.
Hey, Roy, I fixed the problem.
Okay. Is your terrain working?
Yes.
Okay, what happened?
For some reason, I hide all the layer. You see in the above there are some kind of options that says accounts, layers, and layout. And when I was trying to change the layout, I did something in layers, and I unselect that something. It's in the buttons that are above the game view. That's a very stupid mistake from my side.
Oh, okay.
So we want to apply the change color script to all the boxes.
For now, just apply to one box.
Okay.
So let me go back to my terrain. Now just to any of these boxes. If you want, you can also select all of these boxes. And then take this script, color change script, and you can drag them onto each of those boxes.
Awesome.
Now once you have done that and you select that box, you should see this script. And you will see this prefab material. By default it will be none material. You will go to your materials folder and drag any of the materials that you have onto that variable. So I'm dragging this blue material onto this
I think I have some errors in my change color. Can I
Yep, share screen.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, hold on. No. Okay, hold on. I'll get okay, so I got my change color there in the scripts.
Mm-hmm.
And I had applied them to a bunch of random, I just grabbed a bunch.
Okay.
and dragged it over.
Yes.
And it said, please fix compile errors before creating a new script component. Okay.
So go to console here.
Oh.
The console right next to this project, there's a console button at the bottom, just where this things are. There's a console there right next to the project.
Right next.
So this dark gray line that divides your screen and these scripts, there's a console. There's a white tab, and then there is something called console right next to it.
Okay. Is it on the same level as game?
Okay. I'm showing my screen.
Gizmos out.
Right here. Can you see my screen?
Hold on a second. Okay, show me.
So right here, you have this project. And here is a console.
Oh, down there. Jesus. Sorry.
Okay.
Console, here we go.
Okay, how about we have to kind of keep with the plan of the class, and let me do some little more things, and you can type this in your color change script, and then I can look and work with you and get everything working.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So.
Oh, stop presenting. Or you're presenting, right?
Yes.
Great.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So right now, we are going to make a duplicate of an object in our game world. For this, just how we said public material, prefab material, I'm going to say public game object. And I'm going to say prefab object. It can be anything. In terms of what I showed you earlier, think of this as that paintball. You want to make duplicates of that paintball every time you press that gun. So you are going to declare that variable here. Then you are going to say if input dot get key code dot say I'm gonna say Q, and I put curly brackets.
W is taken.
Sorry?
Oh, because W is taken?
Yes. W is already doing something. So in this cube, I'm gonna say I want to make a duplicate of this prefab object. So for this up here, I'm gonna declare another game object, and I'm gonna call this duplicate object. But this time I'm not gonna call it a public. You may call it public only when you want to see it in the inspector, like this prefab material. If you don't want to see it in the inspector, you do not say public here. So you say just a game object, duplicate object. This makes it only a local accessible variable, and this script only will have access to this. Now you're gonna say duplicate object equals to instantiate prefab object. So instantiate is a built-in keyword Unity has. Using this keyword, it makes a duplicate of any kind of object that you give it. Now when you do this, you can then set the duplicate's position and rotation to be something you want. Say for now, if you want, so right how in this case you press W and the material change to a different color. You can also say if I press another key, I want this whole object to change into a different kind of object, a duplicated object. So in that case, I will make whatever my current object is. So this dot game object. So game object is the game object property, so it's entity itself. Or I can say this dot get component, and I'm gonna say renderer dot material to be null. So what this is going to do is just going to make the material null, and you will not be able, you will just see it kind of a default or a bad pink color. That will mean that it's for now not being rendered. Now in place of that, you can duplicate this object, this prefab object, and you are going to place this duplicate object, you're going to access its transform, and you're going to set this transform to this dot transform. So whatever this transforms position is, you're gonna set it to that one. You can also do it specifically, so it will take position, so you can set explicitly the position of this duplicate object to be the position of the current object, and you can also set the duplicate object's transform dot rotation to be the current object's rotation. So now what you're doing is when you press W on a script, you're just gonna change the material. If you're gonna press Q, you're gonna make this object itself to be something totally different. Now I'm going back to my Unity, and it has, say, this script, this object already has the script. It takes a prefab material. I have given it a prefab material, say like this blue, and I want to give it an object that it's going to be replaced with. So say I want this object to be replaced by this ball. Now you see, whatever these objects have this material to be set to be 0, it turns this weird pink. Now another, so this is just to show that you can access these variables. What you can do is you can just bring in a duplicate object. So I am going to say duplicate object equals to instantiate, and I am going to instantiate this prefab material or prefab object, and now it has many options. You can see here it gives you many options. You can just give it a prefab object, or you can give it a position and a rotation right here. So I'm gonna say just a shoot location, and I'm gonna declare this variable later. So shoot location dot position and shoot location dot rotation. Now you will see these red things appear below shoot location because I have not declared and the script does not know what that shoot location means. So for that I'm gonna say public transform. So this is gonna be a transform type variable, which is gonna be shoot location. So when it is declared to be shoot location, you can access its position and its rotation when you are instantiating it. Now let's say I go back to my Unity where my gun is. So right here, I want the paintball to appear somewhere here. I am gonna select this gun here, and I'm gonna go create 3D object. This huge box appears, and I'm gonna scale it down in size to be this tiny mouth of the gun. And now I'm going to turn this mesh renderer and box collider of this object. So it just now has this transform property. So now when I go back to this script and say or wherever this so this script, I'm pressing Ctrl+C, and this transform shoot location should appear. If it's not appearing, then I am going to go to scripts, and this script I'm going to attach again to say this object. Do I have errors? No. Maybe I've not saved it here. So I save everything here, and then I go here, do a control save. Now this shoot location appears here. Now this shoot location is this gun's mouth that I just made. So when I have this selected, I drag this shoot location, I lock it here so that it's not moving. I take this shoot location, I drag this onto here. I want a prefab object to appear. I'm going to go to a prefab paintball object, and I'm going to go paintball, and I'm going to go to materials, and I'm going to bring a material in here. So that's all it needs. Now what the script is doing is whenever I press Q, it is instantiating an instance of this paintball that I've given it, and it's gonna place it at this shoot location at shoot position. So I'm pressing Q, and you see these paintballs start to appear. So this is essentially the kind of functionality we want, but you see a problem with this is not really acting realistically. So that is because this prefab doesn't really have a rigid body, so it doesn't really act according to gravity, and it does not fall down like we want. So I'm gonna add to this paintball a rigid body component. To this paintball I add a rigid body, and then onto my script here this is locked, so this is not what I'm seeing. My paintball that should now have a rigid body. Okay, now select this. It has this script. I take my paintball and I add this, and it should, well, it is falling down, but it's not. Does my prefab not have colliders? Okay, so it has colliders, but it's just stacking up on top of each other. Now we are going to add a bit of a force to it. So if people need to leave, they can. I'm just gonna quickly show how you can add force so that it'd be easier for you to I'm sure Usman is gonna repeat these concepts when he starts with you guys next week, but at least you will have some introduction to that. Now when I've made this duplicate object, I can then access its get component, and I can access its rigid body. I added a rigid body to my prefab, so this prefab object has a rigid body. So when I duplicate this prefab object to be this duplicate object, this also has this rigid body component. So now I can get component rigid body, and when I press dot, it has this inbuilt functionality called add force. Now for this add force, it takes a vector 3 force, so same thing as when you did translate and you gave it a speed and a direction. Similarly, you are going to give it a, say, shoot locations. So this shoot location, this is a transform, so I'm gonna give it from, with respect to the shoot location, I want to go right. The paintball should go to the right of this shoot location. We're gonna see if this is correct or not, and I'm gonna give it a shoot force. This shoot force I have to declare, so I'm gonna make this a public float shoot force. And now if I go back in here and I Control S, so this has a shoot force. I say 1000, and then I'm pressing Q, so you can see these paintballs are flying to the right. I can similarly say forward, and when I press now, they're gonna go to the forward of that location. Okay. So if everybody understands this concept, they can just type this up. I'm also going to share this script in an email after this class is done, or you can type this now. So whoever was having problems, Tanya, you can show me your problems and we can start working on it.
Okay, great. Great. All right. Oops. Seem to. Am I? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, am I presenting? Okay, hold on a sec.
Yeah.
Thanks. Am I presenting?
Yes.
There? And I wanted to go to that script.
You lost your desktop in the chat script.
So I'm gonna copy the script and I'm pasting it in the message box. Let's see if you guys get it. Did you get it?
Yes.
There. It's there.
Okay.
Yeah, but the last if input get key is not completed probably.
Okay. So okay, I'm sending that bit separately. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's good now.
Okay. Yeah, Tanya, you can show me.
Hold on a sec. Okay. Okay. So I just copied and pasted everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to save it. And so there it is. And I add it to box, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I did already, but whatever. Can add it to any box like that.
Yeah.
Oh, please fix compile errors before creating new script components. So what would that be?
So can you go to your console? Compiler errors. Okay, can you go back to your project? There might be errors in other scripts that you have in there. So can you select any? So the camera script was working correctly. Now any other script that you made in between, can you just like drag that out of Unity and save it on your desktop, and then delete that inside Unity?
Okay, it must be target. But I thought we unclicked target from everything anyway. But anyway, okay, delete.
You can save it first somewhere.
I might have screwed up player move, but okay, anyway, let's go. So now what?
So now if you try to add it, can you add it?
Oh. No, it seems like I can't. I don't know. So maybe, should I just take this one away? Maybe it's that one.
Can you just get a simple object that doesn't have any other script added to it already? Just make a new object.
Okay. Oops.
Just go to your scene and create.
Yeah, sorry. Target, what the hell? Okay.
So in your hierarchy, just click on your scene, this target with something.
You want me to create something, or?
So on your left, you have this hierarchy tab. The first option is that scene. That's the scene name, target wall something.
Yeah, right.
Now when you right click on that one, just right click on it. Yeah, right click.
Okay.
Scroll down to 3D object, game object, 3D object.
Oh.
So when you click just on the scene, on that target with, just not any other object underneath, just on this top name.
Okay.
Just click on that, right click.
Yeah.
Do you get options?
Oh, game object, 3D object,
yes.
cube.
So 3D object, cube, yes.
Okay, there we go.
Now this cube, press F. Now to this object, add this script. Go to assets. Right now you are in your scenes folder. So
okay.
Not there, at the bottom.
Right here.
Yes. So just come to your parent directory, to assets, scripts, yes.
Right.
Drag the script onto this cube.
Okay. So there's something wrong in the script.
What does it say? You cannot drag it on?
Yeah, it said please compile errors or something.
Can you open the script? You just said you copy pasted this one.
Yeah.
So one thing is that if this script name is different from your script name, that will cause errors. So what's your script's name?
Change color.
Is it spelled the same as caps C of color?
No, it doesn't have a capital C.
So that's the problem. So this class name is very important. Inside your script, this class name should be the same as your script name.
Okay, so which name should I change? The one that the
You can you can just copy this name of the script and then open the script.
Okay.
Now open the script in Visual Studio.
Yep, and then just replace it.
Yes.
Okay.
And save and try to do that again.
Yeah, okay.
Does it work now?
No.
Maybe like create a new C# script.
Okay.
For some reason, I do not see these errors. I just see your screen. So call this change and caps C color.
Okay. I'm going to call it change color too. Or should I? Okay.
Yeah, now inside.
Should I delete the old one?
Yes.
Okay. Should I delete the old one?
Yes.
Okay. Delete.
Now inside this, paste what I gave you. You are again you're changing the name.
Yeah. Change color.
With the caps C. Is there a COLOR?
Yeah, but change color 2 though. I was trying to get the 2 off. Hold on.
Just make a new one. Just make a new one. Create new.
Okay.
You guys need to practice editing and doing all these things on your own with Unity. Just don't think that you're gonna do this 1.5 hours with me or with someone.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry. I could follow the video. I'm gonna repaste in the stuff in chat.
Yep. Because if you're not used to navigating inside the scene and through all these tabs, and you don't know what the hierarchy tab is, what this asset tab is, then it's going to be very difficult from next week to follow more advanced things. So before next Monday, really practice with Unity, spend time with it, watch over the videos, redo these things.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, in change color, just paste that code.
Okay. I gotta just kind of find my... Okay, there, change color. I'm gonna double click on it. Why doesn't it open into...
Are you double clicking on the script in your assets folder?
Yes, I am. Okay, here we go. Okay, there it is. It's part of that. So I suppose if I...
just paste that code in there.
I can attach it to one of those guys, right?
Yeah. or just the cube that, for now, just try to do it with this white cube that you got in, because it doesn't have anything on it.
Okay, great. Okay. And then what?
Drag the script onto this cube.
I did.
Okay.
It has it right here.
Okay. Did you paste the code and save that file in Visual Studio?
I saved the file and then I applied it.
The variables are not. Can you click this little arrow? Yeah. You have to go back to Visual Studio and save it.
Okay.
Where did you paste this?
Oh my God. I just wonder, you know what? I'll just watch the video at this point.
Can you get your Visual Studio window up here? So this is what you're seeing in the inspector. That is not the actual where you paste. You should paste in the Visual Studio window. You're doing that, right?
Yes. Sorry. Let me see. There we go.
Okay. After this last curly bracket, you need one more curly bracket. At the bottom, at the very end.
Okay. At the very end?
Yes. Press enter and one more curly bracket.
One that goes that way or the other way?
So
that
shift, yeah, that way, but this is a square bracket. So erase that one and press shift and do it again. Yeah, correct.
That one?
Yep. Now save it.
Okay, saved.
And go back to Unity. Now you see these variables. Now you can remove one of the scripts or just uncheck them.
Now I see the variables.
Yeah, uncheck the other one as well. You have 3. Yeah.
Do I? Oops.
Yep. So now you have 1. Now go to your assets main folder. Do you have any kind of a prefab in here?
I think I do under
so let's do something. You have this cube, right? These
I have
black and blue cubes.
Yep.
So you can just drag those. So select your white cube.
Yeah.
Now from your hierarchy, that is to your left, select one of those black and blue cubes.
Oops.
Yeah, and then drag that onto the inspector.
Oh, drag one of these guys.
So don't select the. So first, okay, select the white one.
Yeah.
On the inspector, you see this small lock at the top. So just next to inspector, there's a small lock. Press that one.
This?
Yes. Now, go select any of those black and blue boxes.
Right.
and from the hierarchy, don't do it from your editor. From the hierarchy on the left, drag one of those onto, so where did your, wait, you click the white box. Now lock this. Press. Yes, it's locked, right? Press again.
I can't. It's, what am I supposed to see? It
There's-
locked it.
so
Maybe
there-
my screen is so freaking small. Okay, that's unlocked.
Yeah, so yeah, if it's a little tiny open thing, yeah, and if it's closed, it will be like continuous.
Okay, so it's unlocked. So now what?
So you want
I-
to close it, you want to lock it. So lock.
Okay,
When you
I'm
have
gonna lock
lock,
it.
then this inspector is not going to move. Now select one of the black and blue boxes, and now drag it onto that prefab object, the second one.
I drag it onto.
Here in the inspector, in that variable prefab object, in
Uh,
the under
transform.
script, change color.
I drag it into.
Inspector, change color, go to the script,
Okay, down there.
the first one. Yes, there is a prefab object, the
Prefab.
second one. In that text box, yes, there, drop.
Oh. Wow. Okay,
Okay,
change color. There we go.
now you want this object to appear in a certain location, right? So now select this white box, and from your hierarchy selected, not in your editor, hierarchy selected. Yeah, so
Okay,
there.
here.
Now drag again to your shoot location. In the scripts, change color script, there is the third one, shoot location. Yeah, drop it. Okay. Now you want to add a, say, a shoot force, say just for now shoot 10. And then prefab material, you can go to your materials folder inside your assets. Yeah, just drag one of those materials onto this prefab material in the script. It's the first script. You added it to the second one.
Oh, okay.
Again, from the assets, drag and
Oh.
drop.
Hold on. There. You can always Control Z.
Yeah, drag it to the first thing.
Right there.
Yeah, great. Now select this white cube in your editor. Yeah, and unlock it from your inspector. Now go unlock this top lock. In your inspector, unlock this one. Top. Yeah, click again. Yeah, correct. Now this select, when you have the white selected,
Yep.
you turn off the mesh renderer. Yep. Now press play and press Q.
Anything else? Oops.
Okay. So this material is changing to something default. You can see that this enemy box it's getting duplicated in runtime. If you play again, so inside your
Can I hit Q?
yeah, if you press Q, you see in your hierarchy you're getting this enemy box, right? It's coming up. Press Q again. So you're actually duplicating something in the environment. You're making duplicates of this object, but because the shoot location is not proper defined, it's inside this white box. You're not seeing it right now. But
Oh, neat. Okay.
so press W on your keyboard.
Yeah. It turned pink.
Yeah, press W on your keyboard.
I did. That turned pink.
Okay. You can stop play. So this is how you're going to do it. You are going to when I give you this recording, do just as I did. Once you get the gun, you add a kind of a box, a small box at the nozzle of the gun, and make that as the shoot location and not this. And then you add a prefab ball. So make a sphere, add a material to that sphere, and save that as a prefab. Or you can just bring a sphere and save it, and then make that as your prefab object here. And then just follow the steps in the video, and then you will hopefully be able to replicate the paintballs like I did.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, in case, just get comfortable, try to do this. Don't be scared that it's not working, or don't get frustrated. Just do these steps while you're watching the video. At least you'll be familiar even if you're not getting things to work. And then I will ask Usman to go over all of this again a little bit before he goes into other things.
Okay, I find the videos very useful.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do them every day.
Okay.
I didn't get a practice today. And I'm also I got a 9:30 on Friday morning.
Yep.
So I'll try to get this scene.
Okay.
And I'll try to get this scene for Friday at least.
Yeah.
Friday morning.
Yeah.
So
your one-on-ones are great. You can work all your individual problems during your one-on-ones.
Yeah.
And
I'm new at programming.
Yep.
Like I didn't know C or JavaScript or anything. It's completely new to me. So I'm just trying to come with a good attitude towards it.
Yep. The scripting we're doing is not very difficult. It's just mostly about understanding logic at this point, and we are going to repeat the same kind of logic for the first 5 weeks. So you're going to see the similar kind of code again and again, and you will by the end of 5 weeks be very familiar with it, and then you'll be starting to do a little more advanced things. So it is absolutely for beginners. Don't worry about it, and don't feel that you're not understanding it. It's just to give you introduction to these concepts so you can start thinking about it. And then
I agree. I feel like I am starting to understand some concepts, so that's pretty amazing.
Okay, great, awesome.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good night.
Did anybody want to show me something?
Yeah, my rocks are falling through the ground.
Okay. So your rocks have a rigid body, but they don't have a collider on them.
Start seeing.
Yep. Where are your rocks?
Okay, well.
Oh, okay.
I want them to bounce around on the ground.
Okay, so when you got the rock prefab in there, go to that prefab in Unity. And select that prefab that you
there?
Yeah, select this one in your assets, and then add a collider to it. So this mesh collider is Tanya, can you mute? Yeah. So this mesh collider is very bad for giving you physical behavior. So you kind of have to add something like a sphere collider around that rock. So it's gonna not be exactly like the rock shape, but it will be something similar. There are other ways of taking multiple different kinds of physical colliders and aligning them so that it kind of gives you a more physical representation. But now this is an easy way to do it.
So that just by adding that sphere collider, good?
Yeah. Now try doing it. Something should be different. So now that you have added it, you have to again drag that prefab onto the script. If you don't drag it onto the script, it's not going to reflect those changes.
Okay. So I edit that.
Yep.
Right. That's it?
Yep. Let's see.
Yeah, my other option. Oh!
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you can see
Nice.
they're acting more like spheres and not like their actual bodies, but you have to then make the sphere collider shape, edit the shape to be more oval, and some of them may be a little bit like a square. You have to do that. We can work on that during your one-on-ones.
Why do I have rocks blowing back in my face?
Yeah, you have to control the direction of the force. We didn't really go in that so much.
Well, I still bloody cool, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask one other question?
Yep.
How is there a way to, when you rotate something, about your Y is all good, but when you, let's say you rotate around your D, and so you're tilting the thing down, your XYZ rotates with it, so now your up leg is pointing forward. Is there a way to change it so that you can maintain an up, forward, backward sort of thing? I'm not explaining very well. For instance,
let me present my screen and I will show you. So if I have, say, this object, and this is blue, you can see the blue is Z.
I'm not seeing your screen.
You're not? Okay.
Oh, there we go.
So this blue is Z. So this blue is your Z. And now if I press W and I rotate along the blue, it's moving like this.
Yep.
And your XYZ is going to be, so if I rotate it only so much, and your XYZ is always going to be relative, this 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree, and it's always going to be your positive quadrant that this is going to default to. If you want the functionality to be different, you can say for this one, you can go to this rotation along your, say now, x-axis or y-axis. You can change this explicitly to be something. You can also explicitly change this to be something. So your Z rotation remains to where you fixed it, but your X rotation and Y rotation, you explicitly set something different. But it's always, these arrows are going to be the positive quadrant of that sphere where everything is positive, positive, positive. And then if you want to change something in terms of script, the location, then you have to adjust your script accordingly. You have to say minus forward, plus right, minus up, and you have to make those changes.
So you would have to compensate if I'm tilting forward, so my X is pointed at an angle and I want to go straight up in the air, I need to compensate to go forward and backward at the same time?
Yep. So if, say, I have something like this and I wanted to move in the forward direction in this position itself, so I wanted to move like in this way, maintaining this thing, then I don't move, I don't use the command transform dot forward and transform dot right. Instead, I can give it a particular vector. That function is actually expecting a vector. That vector can be anything. So then you can declare a vector, say vector 3 equals to new vector 3. You give it vector 3 a variable name equals to new vector 3, and that vector 3 you can say 90, comma 45, comma 45, or 1, comma 0.5, comma 0.5. You can then specify that vector direction. So if you wanted it to move, say something in this direction in this coordinate, or in this direction in this coordinate, you have to kind of figure out what this direction is in terms of XYZ, and then you would put that direction in.
Who said you're never going to use math?
There are other ways you can do it. Maybe like for a specific case, have a specific case, and in your one-on-ones on Friday we can talk about it a little more.
Okay. So if you, let's say you want to rotate something. So can I share my screen again?
Yeah.
So, for instance, I've got the door here, and it rotates about the center. What if I want to rotate it on the side? You know what I mean? But the center of that box, but you can't adjust that XYZ position.
Mm-hmm.
So is that the same sort of thing where you'd have to?
So in your script, what you wrote is you said this dot. So if you added the script to the door, you said this dot transform dot rotate, and then the direction you gave for this rotation was transform dot up, and you said a rotate speed. So this up is the axis of this door. If you wanted it to rotate about a different axis, then you have to kind of put a sort of a pseudo game object or an empty game object, like I did with the nozzle of the gun. I just made it a false position. You make that a false position, a small plane there, and then you give that plane's axis as a reference point.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we are really ahead of our time. Kyle, did you have anything to add?
I was just going to ask a question about colliders,
Mm-hmm.
because I did here. Entire screen. I did pretty good keeping up. And I've noticed that when I shoot the paintballs, sometimes the colliders don't register.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if that was like a scripting error on my part, or if there's so like if I back off a little bit, it seems to do fine, but sometimes when I'm close, it doesn't actually register a collision.
Do you?
It's like it's there. If I move around a little bit, it'll eventually like pick up, but it seems like it's a proximity thing maybe. Because like if I back off, it registers. But if I'm up close, it doesn't seem to actually want to.
You might want to check for your this bullet, that prefab. When you go to that prefab, check the collider on it. So in the inspector, if you select that collider, if it's bigger than the actual object, that might be a problem, or the collider might be at a different offset from the actual object.
Okay, so this is my collider. This is sort of the prefab that I'm working with.
Okay.
And then in the sphere collider, it says, so it looks like it's pretty true to the actual size of it.
Okay, and its center, if you zoom out, its center is aligned. So I see this bigger sphere around that thing.
Yeah, what is that?
that might be the collider. So edit
It is.
collider,
Edit collider.
and then you can shrink the collider itself.
But when I go to edit the collider, it looks like it's actually the size of that little.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if that were so, these arrows should be.
Because like. So it seems like, because the actual collider handles, it seems like the window for moving and shrinking are just. That's the rotational box.
Okay.
Would it be maybe a physic material? Do I need that? Or
no.
no? Okay. I guess, yeah. So that, I mean, that was my only question. Is just I don't know why sometimes it registers and sometimes it doesn't.
I still think. Is this a model you got from outside?
No, it's just a sphere with a material applied. So this is, if I can make the collider bigger, I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll solve it.
Yeah, maybe if your bullet is actually really small compared to your boxes, when it's hitting it, it's actually, you think that it's hitting it, but it's actually slipping through those space between the boxes or something. That could be causing that effect.
Okay.
Just try to make a bigger ball and see if you still get that same thing.
Okay. Let's see. Oh boy.
You have to drag this prefab into the script.
Oh, okay. All right. To cube. Prefab. Oh, hold on. Oh. Guess maybe it's too big.
After you increase the size, did you drag it into the prefabs folder, and then are you putting it from the prefabs folder?
I did not drag it into a prefabs folder, so here, hold on. Let me. Prefabs, then folder, then to cube, prefab. All right, well, it was working. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to press the wrong button. There we go. All right, so now let's do this again. And then we drag that same object into yeah, see, it's still, there's like a dead zone right in here.
I would check the colliders on the boxes as well. Maybe some of the boxes don't have colliders on them.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep looking into it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, Roy. Thanks, Roy.
Yeah. Okay. Alejandro, what's up?
Yes, I didn't make any progress. I need to follow the video.
Okay.
That's actually my question. Where are the recordings of the classes?
I will share this recording by tomorrow morning.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and also our 101 is, I think on Friday, we can work on it more.
Yes, I have a one-on-one with you
Yeah.
on Friday. Yes.
Okay, great. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.